As is our new custom, we're going to start with singing, so I invite you to rise in body or spirit, make yourself comfortable in this space, and let us start off by singing together. We're going to be singing 155, Circle Round for Freedom.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of the children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole.
The spiritual teacher Nisargadatta Maharaj said, "Wisdom is knowing I am nothing. Love is knowing I am everything. And between the two, my life moves." In between nothing and everything, we gather this morning, hoping that wisdom will light our way home and that love will welcome us across the threshold of a new season. Welcome this morning to the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. Welcome into this loving community of seekers where we strive to live with integrity, nurture wonder, and inspire the actions that transform us and transform the world. Welcome here with your whole self this morning. All of who you are, all of who you are becoming is welcome here. I'm the Reverend Julia Hamilton, and I am so glad we are together to celebrate this morning. This morning, we are going to be turning our minds and hearts in reflection toward the holiday of Diwali, and I'm very excited to have Janie Madlani with us this morning. Janie is one of our religious education teachers, and usually she is down on the other part of campus with our kids, but she and Charla Brigante, our Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration, have switched places this morning, and Janie is going to be joining us to share the story of Diwali with us this morning. We also have Matthew and our singers with the USSB choir, and we have Erin on the piano this morning, giving Heather Levin a much-deserved Sunday off. So let's welcome her with us. We also have another guest here this morning who you might notice in the space. A bird arrived into the sanctuary here with us. Up there, someone just pointed out. So from time to time, you might notice one of our newest visitors checking us out. We are leaving the doors open so that if it decides it needs to find an exit strategy, there we go. One is available to our friend here, but we thank you for your presence as well. And perhaps also to reach out and remember that there are those of you joining us at home in the online sanctuary on Zoom. We are one community under one sky on one earth this morning in many spaces and incarnations. There is a lot going on here at the Unitarian Society this fall, so if you are visiting with us, we would love to get to know you better and get you connected to everything going on here. There is a welcome table in the courtyard afterwards. There's our online coffee hour. There's a little yellow card in your order of service here and an online connection card that you can drop into the offertory or fill out online, and that'll help us keep connected and keep you informed with everything that's going on. And there's also an insert in our order of service and a Friday email full of stuff that you can do beyond Sunday mornings. This coming weekend, we are going to be celebrating our All Souls service, and it's also the recognition of Dia de los Muertos. So next Sunday, I invite you to bring a photo or a memento of an ancestor or ancestors that you cherish, whether it's your family by blood or family by choice or the spiritual ancestors who've passed their wisdom on to you. Go ahead and bring that with you on Sunday, and we're going to be building our community altar here that morning. There'll also be an opportunity for those of you online to participate as well. And we are going to be participating on Saturday at Ortega Park for the community celebration of Dia de los Muertos. If you want to, Deb, do you want to raise your hand? If you're interested in showing up and helping out at that celebration on Saturday, go ahead and talk to Deb after the service. We have all kinds of things coming up. We have our Alliance meeting kicking off the start of the month. And of course, we have our warming centers, which we'll talk a little bit about more later in the service. Please take a look and find a way to get connected to this community in whatever role and capacity you find yourself drawn towards. Try something new this season. There's nothing like a little action and community to help get us through some hard times. I invite you now to take a breath, to settle yourself wherever you are. Allow yourself to become fully present to this moment, fully present with whatever cares and worries and joys and hopes you bring into this space, knowing that you don't hold them alone, but hold them in this loving community as we ring our bell and let the sound connect us. In just a moment, we're going to be lighting our chalice. So if you are joining us at home and want to type in "chalice is lit" to the chat with where you are, we can see all of those little flames springing up across our community. And here in the sanctuary, I'm going to invite Janie Madlani to read our words for chalice lighting while Kyle and Dylan light our chalice here in this space.
We light our chalice as a symbol of the light within us and the life that flows through the world around us. It is our beacon as we search for truth. It is the warmth in our hearts for love, and it is the energy that propels us to action. May we be kindled by our time together.
It's a collective work, the light of lighting our chalice each week. Well done. Every week as we gather, we bring with us all that's going on in the world, the joys and the challenges. And we try to take a moment to remember that amidst all of the news and the struggles, there are also good things. Actions by kind and compassionate people, collective movements toward a more beloved community. And we invite you to think of something good that you have noticed in the world this week that you want to share, to talk about it during coffee hour or mention it in the chat. And we lift up a collective good thing every week as well. And this week, I want to lift up the fact that this month in October, just a few days ago, the Chumash Heritage National Marine Sanctuary has finally been officially recognized right here off of the coast of, and it's worthy of a cheer for sure. And in honor of this, I want to read to you the acknowledgement that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration put on their page about this sanctuary. The NOAA respectfully acknowledges that the ocean waters, seafloor, and coast within and beyond Chumash Heritage National Marine Sanctuary are and always have been the native homelands of Chumash people and their ancestors, and that the adjacent waters and coasts further north are also the native homelands of the Salinan peoples and their ancestors. NOAA designates this sanctuary with respect and reverence for the indigenous peoples of this coastal area and looks forward to a future of partnership and collaborative co-stewardship to protect and honor this special place. It is remarkable that this statement appears, remarkable that this relationship is being recognized, and this is what we mean when we talk about the work of healing and repair that is ongoing. So this is a good thing. I invite you all now, we're going to try this once again. We've been doing this a little bit. We're going to greet each other, and once again, don't get too rowdy, don't begin a long, deep conversation, but just say hello, extend a greeting to one or maybe two people, introduce yourself, welcome this into the space, and then we're going to stay standing, stay risen if you're already standing, and sing together again. So go ahead and greet your neighbors.
May nothing evil cross this door, and may ill fortune never pry about these windows. May the roar and rain go by. By faith made strong, the rafters will withstand the battering of the storm. This hearth, all the world grow chill, will keep you warm. Peace shall walk softly through these rooms, touching our lips with holy wine, till every casual corner blooms into a shrine. With laughter drown the raucous shout, and though these sheltering walls are thin, may they be strong to keep hate out and hold love in.
Good morning. I am Janie Madlani. My grandparents were from India, where we celebrate Diwali as Hindus. We'd celebrate together as a family, and we'd have smart clothes and beautiful food and enjoy each other's company and remember the story of Rama and Sita, which is a story where good triumphs over evil. For this story, we will need a prince.
Anybody want to come up and be a prince this morning? This is going to be a bit interactive. We're going to need a few characters, and we have costumes if that helps make it more attractive. So does anybody want to come on up with me? It can be anybody of any age. It doesn't have to be a small person. It can be a grown person, just somebody who enjoys being part of the story. Sure, Matthew, come on up here. Janie has some things that she wants to share with us, so here we are.
So if
Beautiful
you could just put
prince.
that around your neck so that it hangs. So now we have Prince Ram. I need a Princess Sita. Anybody?
Princess Sita. Sita's very courageous and strong,
Definitely a good role model.
beautiful inside and out. Who else wants to be a part of our story this morning?
Thank
Come on
you.
up, Patricia. Now, Sita's outfit's a little bit more complex, so Janie's going to show us how to wear it.
Yes, it is like 3 meters of material. Could you tuck that into the front? This is a sari that was given to me by my mom when I was 3 years old. Being as I'm now 55, that's quite a long time. So 3 meters of material, very cumbersome to wear, but I guess looks very elegant in the end. I'm now doing about 20 folds. We could be here till Christmas. I do apologize. There you go, if you tuck that in there. And then, got it? You're doing a very good job. And then, we have here Princess Sita. The final,
I'm going to stand next to Rama here.
the final character we need, unfortunately, is a demon.
Yeah. Who wants to have some fun this morning? Who wants to embody one of the demons in the story? We'll be talking more about how each character in the story is an embodiment of all of us. So come on forward, Tim. Thank you.
So you're going to wear a very simple shawl. If you could just put that. You could do, you might get quite warm.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience, everybody. There we go. Now you start off as a deer, but you will show everyone your demon face when I mention you in the story. So, I don't know if you want to put that on straight away. Over your glasses. There we go. I think this is the best version we've ever done. Okay, the story of Rama and Sita. Once there was a prince called Ram and a princess called Sita. They had been banished to live in the forest by his stepmother as she wanted her son to be king. A demon king called Ravana heard of Sita's beauty and goodness and planned to kidnap her. One day, Ram left Sita to forage for food and drew a magic circle before he did it.
Sita once around.
Drew a magic circle around her for protection. Sita saw a beautiful deer in the distance and accidentally stepped out of the circle. Suddenly, the deer magically turned into the demon Ravana and kidnapped her and flew her away on his chariot back to his island, Lanka. Ram searched and searched for his beautiful princess, and all the animals of the forest helped to find her. He found Sita imprisoned on the island of Lanka. Rama created an army of animals and prepared for battle. It looked as though Ravana was going to win until Rama borrowed a special bow and arrow from the gods. Rama shot Ravana, and the battle was won. He rescued his beautiful princess. Sita, and they decided to go home. As it got dark, the people of the kingdom put out little oil lamps in their windows to welcome them home. This then became the Festival of Lights, where we celebrate good overcoming the bad. Now I ask you to light the lamp near you so we can welcome Rama and Sita back to their kingdom. Happy Diwali.
Thank you, Rama and Sita. And take a minute and look around you and look at all of the little lights kindling, lighting the way home for Rama and Sita, welcoming the triumph of wisdom and knowledge over ignorance and good over evil. Thank you to our players this morning, and thank you most of all to Janie for sharing with us a piece of her tradition and her family's celebration.
Now let us sing our children out. As you go, as you go. So the other one. The other one.
We have two songs that we sing together every Sunday. We have one in the middle and one at the end. We jump straight to the end. There we go.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
I invite us now into a time of reflection, meditation, and prayer. And recognizing that as we head into November, there is the possibility, just the possibility, that some of us are carrying some anxiety in our body. That perhaps some of us are carrying some tension in our spirits and minds and hearts right now, recognizing that we're heading into a very important election in the course of the history of our nation. And so I'm going to invite you into a practice of meditation this morning just to help bring some awareness to where we are right now, where you are right now as a embodied person in this space. And then I'm going to share a poem and invite a time of silence. So for right now, wherever you are, whether you're online or here in the sanctuary, just become comfortable. Just find a position that's comfortable for you. Just become aware of how you're sitting, how you're holding yourself. Maybe get in touch with the breath as it moves in and out. And once you find yourself in a comfortable, relaxed position, just notice where you might be holding tension. Notice if there's any part of your body that is in pain. Perhaps this is a pain you carry with you constantly. Perhaps this is a new ache. Just if there's any discomfort or hurt in your body, just notice it. And in your mind, you can even say something like, there is pain in my knee, or I'm noticing a little flutter of anxiety in my chest. Give it words, name it and notice it in your mind as you become aware of your body. And if you'd like to, once you have taken a moment of that noticing, if you want to just place one hand on your heart and maybe one hand on your belly, if you want. It's always an invitation, never a requirement. And just take 3 deep breaths. Feel the rising and falling of your hands if you've placed them on your body. And after you've taken those breaths, just return your awareness to yourself and notice if anything has changed. Are you holding yourself slightly differently? Perhaps you just have a slower breathing. This is a practice you can do at any point at any time you want. Over the coming days and weeks, if you notice yourself aflutter, if you notice yourself caught up in a spin, perhaps just take a moment and do this little meditation. Put your hand on your heart, your hand on your belly, take some breaths. Attend to your body in space, and remember that we are in this breathing together. I share with you this poem called Blessing of This Precious Mess by Anna Bladel. Darling one, you precious mess, you exhausted, grieving, hollowed, hallowed hallelujah of a human. Today, if even for a moment, may you feel your own beating heart, your own courageous core, your chest rising and falling with breath, which is spirit, which is life force, keeping pulse, marking time, finding space. Regardless of how you're feeling, no matter what you are capable of or not, and just for a moment, may you find rest, a bit of ease, held in that sacred rhythm that cannot be without you, because you precious mess, have breath and heart and life force pulsing through you yet. Let us enter into a time of quiet. Go ahead and stay right where you are, and let us sing together Spirit of Life, number 123 in our hymnal, or the words are on the screen for those of you that need them.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
So often at this point in the service, we have a reflection from a member of the congregation, sharing an experience or story, participating in the service. And I love these reflections from the congregation because, of course, we all have wisdom to share. Earlier on in the welcome, I mentioned that we were going to be talking a little bit more about the warming centers, because we are heading into the winter, and we are activating once again as part of this partnership where we provide shelter for folks living on the streets. And originally I was going to invite someone to come up and share a reflection about their experience of the warming centers, but I'm going to try something new with us today, because this is not just one person's experience, this is a congregational experience. How many of you have volunteered with the warming centers in one way or another over the years? Take a look around. At least I think probably about half of the congregation that's in here today. So we're going to create a reflection together. We're going to reflect together on what it means to be a part of the warming center. So I am going to bring this around and ask some questions, and we're going to build this reflection like I might invite one person to do, but we're going to do it collectively. And I thought it was especially good to reflect on the Freedom Warming Centers today when we're talking about Diwali, when we're talking about the lights that bring us home, the way we cast light into the darkness to bring people into safety, because that is, after all, one of the things that the warming centers do. We keep the lights on here so that people can find a dry and warm home for the evening. So the first question that I want to ask is, does anyone know how the Freedom Warming Centers got their name? Anyone know that story? If you know that story, raise your hand and just briefly share it. Linda, I'm going to bring this back to you. Because that's their official name, the Freedom Warming Centers. How did they get their name?
Hi, I'm Linda Liker. Is it on?
Yep, just hold it close to your mouth, like a pop star.
Freedom was the name a man who was on the streets gave himself. And I believe he died on the streets, so in the cold and hungry. So the Freedom Warming Centers, I can't remember if it started here, but it was close. And so they named it after him.
That's right. So they're named after someone, a neighbor here in Santa Barbara who died of exposure on the streets of our city. And it galvanized people to say, this is not something that we can allow to happen here in our town. We have to take action. And so who took action? That's right. The Unitarian Society was one of the founding congregations. Does anybody know the other congregations that we participate with downtown here in Santa Barbara?
Hello, Trinity Church.
Trinity Episcopal, right around the corner. Anybody know another one? Go ahead and shout it out, and I'll just repeat it. First Congregational, right, up the street, was one of the founding members. So who else was one of the founding members? First United Methodist, over off of Garden over there, and there's one more. First Presbyterian, right. So these congregations banded together to start the Freedom Warming Centers. And what happens when we activate? Anybody want to give a quick summary of what it means when we activate? People come and make food, right? That's one of the core jobs of our hospitality teams. And what's your favorite dish that you've cooked for the Freedom Warming Centers? Chili, always a favorite. Anyone else have something they love to cook? Lasagna, right? Vegetarian, sweet potatoes and lentils, and a hearty, robust vegetarian meal, because there are vegetarians who come to the Freedom Warming Center, so we try to provide options, right? Anything else you love to cook? Here, go ahead and take this microphone, Janice.
When we were cooking, we made baked potatoes with all kinds of foods on it. We had a vegetarian one and a meat one. And I asked all the people, there were more men always than women, and I asked them if they could have a favorite food, what would it be? And almost every person said meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
And punch.
Meatloaf and punch, right? We're always expanding our menu here. Comfort foods is the main thing, right? Foods that are good and hearty and comforting on a cold and wet night. And finally, I want to ask what I ask almost everybody who is preparing a reflection to share with the congregation. What values, what Unitarian Universalist values, what personal values called you to do this work? Go ahead and just shout it out. The inherent worth and dignity of every person. I see a lot of head nodding. Are there any other values that called you into this work? Compassion, right? Sharing what we have with others. Community. Heart connection, right? Anything else? Generosity. These are the values that come to life not just in our words on Sunday morning, but in the actions we take throughout the week and the way that we as the Unitarian Society want to foster this kind of community for the wider Santa Barbara. I am so proud of this shared reflection that we have created together, all that we've named and lifted up, and it is time to sign up for those hospitality teams. We are putting together our teams right now. Linda, would you go ahead and stand up? Linda is our volunteer coordinator for the Freedom Warming Centers. Our volunteer coordinator, I should say. And she does a fantastic job of putting together teams for each night of the week. So if you want to participate, go ahead and find Linda in the courtyard or email her or watch for that link in your inbox, whether you're here now or joining us online and can make it here when you're activated, and sign up. Whether you've done it before or not, it really is a fantastic way to serve the community and nurture your own spirit as well. So thank you to everyone who makes this possible year after year. We reach out in so many ways in this congregation. It truly is astounding what we do together. And one of the ways we reach out is by giving away a portion of the offering that we collect every Sunday to a project or program that lives our values. And this month, our partner is the Immigrant Legal Defense Center. Those of you who weren't here to hear Rory Moore's reflection on his work, I invite you to go ahead and find us on our YouTube channel and look up that reflection from, I think, 2 weeks ago. And you can hear more directly about the work that the Immigrant Legal Defense Center does for folks who are appearing in court, often without representation, in a very complex and broken system. And the Legal Defense Center is there for everyone, so that they can have a fair and just appearance in court. So please support them and the work of this congregation with your generosity. And let us read the affirmation of gratitude and giving that is in your order of service or on screen. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. And let us be grateful for those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful, even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. Thank you, choir and musicians, and thank you for stretching yourselves. Singing in another language is always a unique challenge, and you did it so beautifully this morning. Thank you for sharing that music with us. Good morning. I love seeing the lights still flickering out in this community as we are gathering. The story that Janie shared with us just a few minutes ago is the story that is at the heart of the epic adventure that is known as the Ramayana. One of the core texts of Hinduism, the Ramayana dates back all the way to somewhere between 7th and 5th century BCE. That is to say, it's probably about 3,000 years old. Originally written in Sanskrit, it has been told and retold in countless versions and formats, in movies and TV shows and animated series and operas and ballets, cartoons and high art. And the Ramayana means simply the journey of Rama. And the story that we shared this morning, that Janie shared with us, is just a sort of sketch of the overall adventure. In the full story, Rama and Sita are banished for 14 years. And all kinds of things happen during that time. It's a story with a main plot that we shared, but has all of these subplots along the way. When Sita is kidnapped, Rama is aided in his search by the monkey god Hanuman, who is loyal and clever. Rama's younger brother, Lakshmana, is also a key player in the tale who supports Rama and Sita throughout their ordeals. There are demons and armies and kings and queens and epic battles and heartbreaking losses and triumphant victories. And Janie shared with me there's also a bird that plays a key role in the story, an incarnation of one of the gods that flies to help rescue Sita. And so I like to think that we have a little messenger here from the Ramayana with us this morning too. But of course, the story is so much more than just a thrilling tale of love and adventure. It is also a religious allegory, a theologically rich story that illuminates something about the relationship between the human and the divine. Everything and everyone and every character within the text can be seen to represent some facet of human existence. As we say when we gather around to tell a story, we're not just telling a story, as our choir sang in this music that I just listened to. Come and hear the secrets of life is what we are saying when we call people to hear a story like the Ramayana. There are scholarly readings of the Ramayana that go into great detail about what each character in the story represents, which part of our nature is represented in Sita, which part in Hanuman, etc. The demon Ravana is often seen to represent the ego, the way the temptations and distractions of the ego can steal our minds away from the path of goodness and virtue and wisdom. And since in the Hindu conception of the world there is also divinity within each of us, the story is not just about our human nature, but it is also an exploration of the nature of God and the divine that is inseparable from the world. Rama is seen as an incarnation of the god Vishnu, the divine soul itself brought into human form. Rama, the soul, is united with Sita, sometimes seen as the self, and so the journey of the Ramayana is an allegory for the journey within each of us. When I was doing my ministerial internship many, many years ago in New Jersey, just as Carolyn Burke is our intern minister here with us this year, when I was preparing to become a minister, I met Tuli Patel, who was the director of religious education for the congregation where I was working, the Charla Brigante of Summit, New Jersey, if you will. Tuli comes from a Hindu background, and she was the one who first inspired me to look deeper at the relationship between Hinduism and Unitarian Universalism. Although in practice, they look very different. Theologically, Tuli said, Unitarian Universalism and Hinduism are very much in conversation with one another. Although Hinduism is known for its innumerable gods, Each of these deities are also expressions of the universal spirit that is at the heart of all things. That universal spirit, that non-personified divinity that undergirds all of creation, is so complex, so beyond human understanding, that thousands of different gods are necessary to represent the many ways the divine interacts with the world. And because this divine diversity is embedded in the world itself, and because underneath it all, it's all one thing, then of course there are many paths that lead to wisdom. And Hinduism teaches that every person is responsible for their own journey and must find their own way toward the divine, to living a good life. I find the idea of divine diversity connected to a fundamental unity to be right in alignment with my own Unitarian Universalist understanding of how the world works. And I see some of you nodding your heads too. And we, like Rama and Sita, we are all on a journey to try and find our way to a place of wisdom and peace. We have our demons to battle, our friends to help us along the way, and sometimes we find ourselves lost in the forest for a very long time before we eventually make it home. And so out of this story comes the celebration of Diwali, a celebration that seems to have some particularly important wisdom to share with us here today. But you might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, isn't a little premature? Isn't Diwali the celebration of the triumph of good over evil? Isn't it the holiday that happens after the battle is won? After the demons are defeated? Diwali falls on the 31st this year, on Thursday, coinciding with Halloween. Almost a week before we'll know the outcome of this election, at best. Isn't it a little early to start setting off celebratory fireworks? But after meeting with Janie to plan this service and reflecting on the meaning of this holiday, I am even more grateful that this year she wanted to share this story with us once again. Because revisiting this story and the allegorical way we can read it and understand that every part of it is an aspect of our own journey, both individually, but also as a society. It reminded me that good doesn't triumph over evil because some external force will swoop in and save the day. But rather, good triumphs over evil because goodness is already embedded inside each of us. Light and truth and knowledge will prevail, not because it's preordained or handed down from somewhere else, but because it is within us and we struggle and we work and we fight to make it so, in collaboration with that light that each of us carries. Diwali is a reminder that you can cultivate the good. You can work to develop the good in yourself and in society at large, because it is already there. A flame that is just waiting to be uncovered, a lamp that is just waiting to be lit. But just because it's there from the start doesn't mean it's always so easy to follow. And the story reminds us that just as the divine light of goodness is part of us, so too are the demons that seek to steal us away from the path of virtue and wisdom. The demons that are not separate from us either, but are also part of our humanity, the parts that can overwhelm us and frighten us and pull us away, steal us away as Sita was stolen from the path of virtue and wisdom. All of what exists, the good and the evil, the wise and the foolish, the generous and the selfish, the loyalty and the betrayal, it is all a part of the whole. And in times like this, when the nation is so polarized and the lines between good and evil seem drawn so clearly, and of course everyone believes they are standing on the side of truth and goodness, right? When the lines seem so drawn so clearly and we want to separate ourselves from all that we don't like, This Hindu wisdom story reminds us that as much as we might want to, we cannot declare ourselves separate from the world in which we live. Even in all of our diversity as individuals, at our root, we are indivisible, pieces of a larger whole, whether we like it or not. A path forward does not emerge because we wall ourselves off from the parts of human nature that we do not like. We might want to see ourselves as having the perseverance of Rama, the bravery of Sita, or the loyalty of Hanuman. But we must also stay humble and be reminded that Ravana lives within us as well. We cannot say that we are interconnected on one hand and declare that the demons of the world only exist out there on the other. And not just as individuals are we called to wrestle with these demons inside us, but as a nation we are called to wrestle with these things. The demons of poverty and violence, of misogyny and racism. They must be confronted and fought if we are to find our way toward wholeness. Not as external invaders, not as something alien or apart from us, but rather as part of our own journey. Our nation, just like ourselves, we cannot become what we long to be unless we are ready and willing to go through the hard parts of becoming. It's hard sometimes, but we're not without help. There's a point in the story where Hanuman, the monkey god, finds Sita where she has been held captive, and he offers to take her away. Come with me, he says, I'll get you out of here. And Sita says, no, I have to wait for Rama to come and get me himself. And at first when I read this, I thought this seemed a little extreme. Here she was being offered a way out, and she was sitting back and saying, no, this is not what I need to do, I have to wait. But when I started to read the commentary, that made more sense because Rama needed to confront the demon. Rama needed to fight and battle and work his way through the journey in order to finally get back home. If Sita took the easy way out, then it would be bypassing the work that needed to be done for the story to be complete. The work we do, the battles we fight, the struggle to find good and overcome the bad is life. That is what we do here. There's no way around it. There's no stepping outside the story and finding a shortcut. We cannot opt out. Just wish away the things that we must, in fact, work through. The whole journey is necessary if there is to be any homecoming. Diwali is a celebration of that homecoming, a reminder that if we want wisdom to defeat ignorance, if we want good to win out over evil, if we want beauty and truth and joy to be triumphant, we can't just sit around in the dark waiting for something else, someone else to solve it. We have to search out that sacred flame inside us and set it alight for all to see. We have to put lamps in our windows to guide the way. We have to bake the sweets that call forth joy. We have to make space for our friends and family and neighbors. We have to put in the work of cleaning out the cobwebs and dust from the previous year. We have to keep inviting joy into our home. Keep creating, keep working with the faith that this light we share is powerful enough to bring us through the challenges that come along the way. Even if the journey lasts years and years, and sometimes even if the journey lasts lifetimes and lifetimes. We did not begin this work, and we do not end this work. We participate in this work. This is what Diwali reminds us. And we don't know yet where our particular journey will take us, or whether we're close to home yet or not. But we can trust that we have what we need inside us to do what needs to be done. We can prepare. And if you're feeling anxious, you can clean and cook. and invite others to share good food with you. Whatever keeps you engaged and active rather than just sitting in the dark. And we can continue to light our lamps, beacons of home and hope, with the faith that our light is not just one small flame, but joins with thousands, and I will say millions of others all around who want the same thing: for wisdom to take root, for joy to spread, for evil to be defeated, and for goodness to flourish. Let us kindle our flames, my friends, and celebrate Diwali in this spirit. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Let us sing together one more time. Please rise in body and spirit, for love knocks and waits for us to hear. It's in the teal hymnal if you want to follow along with the music, number 129, but the words are also on the screen.
Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin.
So stay right where you are, wherever you find yourself. And if you want to put your lamps in the baskets that the ushers are holding as you leave so that we can light them again from time to time together. And you can put your hands over your heart or hold them open, or if you have permission and want to, you can hold hands with someone near you. However it is that you get connected to that larger life that moves through us. And as you go out this week into this beautiful and heartbreaking world, may the light of love shine upon you, out from within you, be gracious unto you, and bring you peace. For this is the day we are given. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And let us call out a blessing as loud as we can.
Call out a blessing, 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 call out, call out a blessing, call out. Nice harmony.